Ready for your next Oregon Coast adventure? Just 2 hours from Portland, Salishan Coastal Lodge by SCP Hotels in Glenadin Beach is a place to relax and explore. Across 200 acres between forest and sea, you can tee off on the golf course, unwind at the spa, soar through the treetops at the aerial park and zip lines, or catch the shuttle to a secluded beach. It's dog-friendly, planet-conscious, and perfect for a romantic getaway or the entire family. Use code CITYCAST to book your unforgettable trip today at salishan.com. That's salishan.com. Stacked Piercing is a new luxury piercing studio in Portland's Alberta Arts District. It's locally and woman-owned. No scary vibes, no piercing guns, just a calm, spa-like space where everyone feels at ease. The Stacked method follows your natural anatomy for placement that lasts, so you leave day one wearing your dream piece. They serve ages 8 and up, and you can take 20% off your first booking at stackedpiercing.com with code CITYCAST20. That's services only, jewelry not included. Again, stackedpiercing.com, CityCast20.
Today on CityCast Portland, we're talking about what happened when the state's HR director violated their own policies, how researchers are working to bring a sea star species back from the brink of extinction, and we're picking some of the top local events that you absolutely need to check out before the end of summer. I'm executive producer John Notarianni in for Claudia Meza. Joining me today on the show are our very own senior producer Rachel Monahn and our audience development director Grace Cohen-Chen. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Hi. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I know, Grace, you haven't ever been in. Listeners, if you know our social media presence, you know Grace's work. Super shout out to the Met Gala outfits as Portland buildings post. That was Grace's work behind the scenes. But it's your first time on the show. How does it feel?
I know, I'm a little nervous, but mostly excited.
We are so happy to have you. Rachel, always a pleasure. Not your first time.
So glad to be here. I always get a little nervous, but it's fun.
I'm a little nervous, so who knows what's going to happen. Well, we like to kick things off with an opening question so our listeners can get to know the guests a little bit better. Today, we are basing it on some reporting by Carlos Fuentes at The Oregonian about our state's former top HR person, Jessica Kneeling, had been the chief administrative officer for the Oregon Department of Administrative Services, which means that she basically saw a whole ton of human resources duties for a variety of state agencies. But she was fired back in June, along with another top administrator who resigned at that time. Back when this came out, there were a number of internal complaints against them, of people sort of blaming them of various bad actions. Kneeling was saying that she was basically fired for trying to hold the state's top officials accountable. So there was a question at that moment of was this politically motivated? What's going on here? Last week, we got a little bit more information about this from a new 69-page final report by an outside attorney, Heidi Mason, listing a bunch of stuff that she found out through 24 interviews with individuals, as well as reviewing a bunch of documents. Here's what she found, guys. 1, she said that Kneeling violated several of the HR policies that she was in charge of overseeing at the time. Said that she directly appointed several people to jobs without following the required procedures. Also improperly denied an employee's ADA request to work remotely. And also, so Mason interviewed Kneeling during this process, said that she was basically unfamiliar with a number of her own department's policies and job classifications. And at one point, get this, there was a case in 2025 where Kneeling was emailing with one of her coworkers about a reference check on an individual. And Kneeling wrote in a Teams message, quote, "I'm willing to roll the dice on my own policy." So an HR person just being like, nah, who's gonna know? Who's gonna pay attention if I'm the person in charge of it?
Yikes.
Yikes. Not all of the original complaints were substantiated. There were a lot of complaints about people disparaging employees. This is a quote. Mason said that she found no evidence that Kneeling made disparaging comments about employees, but some of her remarks were, quote, unkind or flippant, such as one message where she wrote that an employee, quote, did better today than I expected. Granted, my expectations were low.
I feel like HR is really supposed to know not to put things in writing that they don't want in forever world. Like, that's HR's job.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing that like even HR leaders are not immune to like the draw of sounding off in the group chat, you know?
Totally. You're in HR jail for not doing that.
Yeah. Anyways, all of this leads me to like my opening question. What is the funniest way that you've ever seen someone break the rules, either at work or like just out in the world?
There are funny elements to the story you've just gone through, John, though also like really problematic. It's not like funny in itself, but maybe funny how fast our rules of engagement change. I was thinking when I first started work, I had the opportunity to work for the great essayist and editor Lewis Lapham. And he was basically a chain smoker when he was writing his column, at least. And he smoked all the time, but particularly then. And so all of us who worked in the Harper's Magazine office were definitely secondhand smoking. And that was a problem even then, you know, when somebody got pregnant and did not want to be breathing that smoke.
But not against the rules, I imagine.
Yeah, it wasn't technically against the rules at the time, but yeah, it's definitely against the rules now.
Got to keep up with the rules.
That's the story that came to mind.
Got to keep up with the changes as they come. What about you, Grace?
So mine is not a funny story, but it is a wild story of my former life when I was working at a small company in New York before moving to Portland. So this company had about 20 to 30 employees and it did not have an HR department or person, which is already a red flag to not have an HR person. So, but every year we would go out on a staff outing. And one year, I think it was back in 2017, we could choose between going skydiving or going to a shooting range.
Oh my God.
That is funny, Grace.
That were two choices. So I chose skydiving as an adventurous person, which first of all, in hindsight, going skydiving as a staff outing is a terrible idea. I have to say it's a major HR violations for many reasons, but most obviously that you can actually die from it. So
but the other option was shooting guns.
Yeah,
like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You know, it's just New York. Crazy company.
Actually, I lived in New York, as you know, Grace, and that is not New York crazy. That is just crazy.
Yeah, it's absolute bonkers. So long story short, I ended up getting in a skydiving accident, actually. I had a terrible... What? Yeah. I survived a skydiving accident. I had a terrible landing where I landed on my knees. I sprained both my ACLs and I couldn't walk for a whole month. And the worst part of the story was that nobody, including the owner of the company, wanted to acknowledge it because nobody wanted to be liable.
Oh my gosh. And there was no HR to call. So like, what are you going to do?
Absolutely. It was terrible. I obviously quit a few months after that. So
Grace, best first appearance opening question answer of all time on CityCast Portland. Amazing. And I hope you're okay. I hope your ACLs have
I am quite clumsy,
then.
but surviving a skydiving accident is my claim to fame.
Oh my God. Well, on that note, we are going to take a quick break. And after this, we have another story of survival that Rachel is going to walk us through.
More than 20 years ago, Grand Central Bakery took tomatoes off their menu unless they were sourced from local farms at peak ripeness. That decision turned tomato season into a celebrated annual event, marking the return of the Grand Central BLT. And this year, they're sourcing their plump tomatoes that I'm being told are larger than a baseball from Deep Roots Farms and Gathering Together Farm in our Willamette Valley. They pair up these thick tomato slices with Jack Mountain Meats bacon, crisp lettuce, and rich tangy mayo on perfectly toasted Como bread. That's an Italian rustic white bread with a gold crust and a soft and chewy center, house-made of course. And if bacon's not your thing, just get it without the bacon. It's equally delicious. Or you can add some of these fresh local tomatoes to your favorite sandwich like a cheddar egg biscuit, which sounds delicious. Find out why people rearrange their vacation plans for this BLT. Order online at grandcentralbakery.com or at any of their 8 neighborhood locations. And yeah, they do deliver. Got leftover paint, stain, or varnish taking up space in your basement or garage? You're not alone. Many of us finish a project and end up with half-used cans we're just not sure what to do with. Don't let them sit there collecting dust, taking up space. Recycle them with Paint Care. Whether it's cans from a recent renovation or years of storage, Paint Care helps ensure your paint is managed responsibly and kept out of landfills. Drop off your cans for free at one of more than 175 conveniently located drop-off sites across Oregon. To find a drop-off site near you, visit paintcare.org. That's paintcare.org.
All right, Rachel, you have a story about near extinction and survival off the Oregon coast. What are you telling us about today?
So this is a story from John Ryan, an investigative reporter who covers the environment for KUOW up in Seattle. He had a story for NPR, and it's on the release of some sunflower sea stars into nature in the San Juan Islands. Scientists up and down the West Coast have been working to prevent the extinction of this species. They've been raising them in labs to release them because there's been what John Ryan calls a vast underwater pandemic since 2013 that's been killing off sea stars.
And by sea stars, we just mean like those of us who grew up on cartoons, starfish, right?
Yeah, actually, as part of preparing for this, I looked that up to be sure I knew the answer to that, John.
Oh my God, is there a wormhole here?
No.
Okay.
It is the same thing. It's basically, they're not technically fish, they're invertebrates. So
they're not technically stars either, so.
Yeah, good point.
Lies all around, Rachel.
Apparently some scientists like to stick to sea stars. But
Sorry, I will let you actually get into
starfish.
your story before I derail you again.
Yeah, no. I had that to add at some point, but glad you asked. So this pandemic has been particularly bad for sunflower sea stars, or starfish, if you prefer, John. 5 billion have died, or an estimated 90% of the population. So it's had a huge impact on this species. Wow. Yeah. And so because, so many of them have died, you may not be familiar with what the sunflower sea stars are. Like, they grow to up to 3 feet wide. The story compares them to the size of a stop sign. They're huge.
Massive.
Yeah, and they have up to 24 arms, and they're the fastest of the sea stars, apparently. They can go up to 5 feet per minute.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I want to read this part of the story. So, quote, "These invertebrates have no faces, blood, or brains, yet they have personalities, according to their caretakers. They're very charismatic," says one of the researchers. "They have little eye spots at the ends of their arms. They're always looking at you." The story describes them as the stars usually cuddle up with their tank neighbors.
What?
Some are feisty and some are docile. Anyway, I feel like this is like evidence of the dedication that these researchers have for these creatures that they're trying to save from extinction. But before you think of them as cute little flowers, they're actually apex predators.
Oh my God.
So apex predator means top of the food chain. Think lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
And starfish.
Yeah, lions and tigers and bears and starfish.
They're baddies.
Yeah. So they look cute, but, be afraid. Not really for us, but sea urchins should be afraid. So to raise these starfish, to save the species, they have to produce the food, these scientists. So they've been raising, quote, thousands and thousands and thousands of sea urchins to feed to starfish. And the reason that I even share that detail is because that gives you a sense of their role in the ecosystem, which is sunflower stars eat sea urchins. And if they're not around, sea urchins population has exploded. And that means that sea urchins have eaten up all the kelp, which is their diet. And if we don't have kelp, that impacts other species.
Then everything dies.
Including, for example, sea otters. Our audience might remember that we're trying to bring back the sea otters.
So these both sound like cuddly animals. Like the sea stars cuddle one another. And sea otters like hug each other when they swim too. Is there a scientific connection there, Rachel?
Only in their connection to kelp and the need for kelp. But anyway, you may have heard about the sea star wasting syndrome that has been going on. It started in 2013. It went up and down the West Coast from Mexico to Alaska, and it was a complete mystery until about last year. Scientists identified like the source of the disease, which is they've identified bacteria as the cause. They do say the warming oceans exacerbated the spread of the illness, but now that they've discovered what caused the disease, they can go out and like try and save them and figure out what will keep them alive in the wild.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned that like billions of them have been lost, billions with a B, right?
Yes.
So like, is there a path to sort of restoring these populations, or are they still just at the very opening stages of like, we just got to make sure that no more of them die?
Yeah, we're just at the opening stages of that project. This story was occasioned by the release of 23-year-old sea stars up in the San Juans, and like they checked back a while later and they could find 14 of them, and none of them had the wasting disease, and that was considered good news. But they're still figuring out how to do this. They're also trying releasing younger sea stars back into the wild to see what happens. But labs along the West Coast are involved in this effort and doing their best to save them from the brink of extinction.
Grace, what do you think about when you look at the story?
What I took away from the article is that they are considered keystone species whose presence or absence can reshape a whole ecosystem. So that is just mind-blowing to me, that Patrick from SpongeBob, how cute and adorable and charismatic he is, can just have such an impact on the entire underworld.
Speaking of cute animals, something that caught my attention was that one of the places that they are trying to rehabilitate sea stars is at the Oregon Coast Aquarium in Newport, which you might remember was once home to Keiko, which was the orca who was the inspiration for Willy in Free Willy.
Right.
So in like 10 years, there's going to be like a free, Sammy the Sea Star movie. And apparently they're just as adorable and cuddly as like your killer whale orca. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Right. I think that actually they should be the villain of some movie to like fully present their badassery to the world. They need
Action
the dark
movie
side. Yeah.
Starring apex predator sea stars.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Rachel, thank you so much for introducing us. I had no idea. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, it's almost the end of summer. Let's talk about some events. All right, you guys, it is August 18th already. I don't know what happened to summer, but it is almost gone. So it feels like we're sort of in like sudden death overtime of summer fun. So I wanted to take a couple minutes and roll through a few things that are on your radar of if people are looking for like just a couple more plans before we really get into the fall. What is on your radar? Like maybe through Labor Day, what do you think is something that everybody should check out before the end of summer? Rachel, do you want to go first?
I'd love to. So yesterday I was out. I rolled past a giant sculpture of a crow, and I remembered there's this exhibit of crows going on all across downtown Central City The one I saw was actually near PPS's headquarters in the Lloyd district. But there are 30 crow sculptures. They're 6 feet tall. They're all in honor of Leica Studios' forthcoming Wildwood movie.
Yeah.
So you can go check them out.
Didn't they do this with cats a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coraline-themed cats. I think it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that. But I love crows. I also think it's a little weird, like they're like being honored as like the creature of this movie. Aren't they the baddies?
They are.
And, at the end of this, they'll be auctioned off to benefit Dornbecker Children's Hospital. So the crows will do some good for the kids in the end.
I saw my first Wildwood crow this weekend as well at the PSU Farmers Market. And they're just so stunning. They're so beautiful and everyone was gawking at them. So can't wait to see some more.
I feel like I saw one and it didn't quite register in my brain. I was just like, oh, it's a giant crow as I was going about my business this past
Another
weekend.
weird thing around Portland. Yeah.
Just, there's some weird art. Cool. All right, Grace, what about you? What's first on your list?
My event pick is the Hawthorne Street Fair, which is this Sunday, August 23rd, and it's from 11 to 5 p.m. I'm partial because I live right off of Hawthorne and I go every year. It's the 43rd anniversary this year, and there's going to be over 200 local businesses, tasty bites, live music, other family-friendly activities. And of course, it's free and it's open to the public, so you should all check it out.
And you're not going to be able to get out of your driveway if you wanted to go anywhere else, so you may as well take in the street fair.
Please don't park behind me.
So I'm hearing after party at Grace's house. Is that what's happening?
Absolutely. You're all welcome.
We volunteered Julia, our other producer's house, for the Mississippi Street Fair. At some point, we have to make this joke stick and actually do it.
We can all go skydiving together. How's that?
Oh my gosh. Grace, we do have
busy.
an HR department here that I have to report to. We can't. I'll ask Emily if that's okay. Emily, if you're listening, can we do a team skydiving outing? Is that allowed? Well, for me, the first one that I wanted to pick, y'all know the Great British Baking Show, right? Like every one of us has had that experience of being depressed in the winter and turning it on and having that be your identity for 3 weeks, right? Well, there is a version of it happening in Portland, the Big Portland Bake Show that's being put on at Pick's Patisserie on Burnside. Basically, it's Portland's live take on the show. They're bringing in amateur bakers and doing a 2-day baking competition. They did already a few of these this summer, and it's coming up on August 29th and 30th. And they want to have an audience there. So there's going to be trivia and taste testing and raffle prizes and stuff. I went online and looked at some of the videos, and they did the tent from Great British Baking Show. I don't know why that made it feel so official, but I was like, it's the tent. It's real. It's the real show. So it looks really fun.
Yeah, Grace and I met somebody who had been on it and was really jazzed about it and had become friends with everyone who had been on the first one of these. So
on the British one or the Portland one?
The Portland one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A local celebrity.
Yeah, a local celebrity.
She seems to have loved it.
Who cares about the British celebrities? Come on, John.
It just seems so Portland and it looks like so much fun and I can't wait to join.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, what's your final pick for the summer?
Well, I am hoping for a really sunny and clear weekend day so I can go up to Silver Star Mountain, a hike along a ridge with excellent views of all our peaks.
Where is that?
It's in Washington. So my pick is your favorite, the hike you've been meaning to do, or you can join me at Silver Star Mountain.
I actually am planning a hike with a friend for this weekend, and I was looking at smoke patterns, and it's I don't know if the gorge is going to be it. So I'm where do we go? And I started looking out west in the Tillamook Forest and Coast Range. So that's my new target for a late summer hike, because it seems if you're following the smoke patterns, that area is pretty clear. So
yeah,
that's my suggestion to you, Rachel, if you can't make it to Silver Star.
I mean, there's both smoke and actually clouds. It looked like it was going to be cloudy, and this is a hike that just needs to be done when you can see everywhere. Mm-hmm. I may have missed my summer window in July, but here's hoping. And, if I'm not here one day, You know where I am.
If Rachel suddenly falls sick on a random Monday, we'll know where she went.
I was thinking Thursday. Thursday looked clear.
Yeah.
I even have the day picked out.
HR is listening. All right. What about you, Grace?
My second pick is Ops Fest, which stands for Original Practice Shakespeare Festival. And if you don't already know about them, they are an improv-ish rendition of a Shakespeare play. Where
are there two of you that like this?
Are you a hater, Rachel? Grace, I'm also really into this.
I'm just a skeptic.
What?
I think this sounds like so much fun.
Why? Rachel, tell us why.
I mean, like, a lot of people put a lot of time into rehearsing Shakespeare to put on really fantastic performances, but that is not the Portland way. Go on.
No, the Portland way is completely different. They don't rehearse ahead of time, and then they constantly change out their cast as well. So you never see the same show twice, basically. So it's improv-ish, and there's also a lot of audience engagement. I went to one, I think I saw King Lear at Laurelhurst in July, and it was a lot of fun. I really loved it, and everyone else really loved it around me.
So you're saying it's everyone but me.
Yes, exactly.
It's the Oregon Shakespeare Festival down in Ashland. If you want that polish, I'm here for the rough stuff too. I think it sounds really fun.
Yeah, and it's just a good time. It's free, it's family friendly. You just bring your blanket and you hang out and just enjoy Shakespeare in the park. So for the Ops Fest, there's only a few more plays for the rest of this year. Most notably, they have Hamlet at Mount Tabor this Saturday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. And don't be a hater like Rachel and show up and support Ops Fest.
Yeah. Not even kidding. I was going to choose Original Practice Shakespeare as my pick until I saw that you got to it first, Grace. So I was like, what is like quintessential summer that needs to happen? And I was like, you know what it is? The splashdown events at Audrey McCall Beach on the Willamette River. They're hosting a couple of these like summer swimming hangouts. Mm-hmm. There's 3 more this month on Tuesday, August 18th, August 25th, and then on Friday, August 28th. They go from 5:30 to 8:30 at that beach off the East Bank Esplanade. And it's just a party, you know? You just go and hang out and swim, and there's a bunch of people there, and it's a great way to get out and sort of enjoy the city and go for a swim in the river, which I think we all don't do enough of. And as if that wasn't enough, on August 25th, they're going to have a performance from Daughters of Triton, which is Portland's open water synchronized swimming group. So if you've got like one summer swim in you, August 25th, that's the way to do it.
It's funny because usually I think they're canceled by this point in the summer, but I guess our like algae bloom has stayed away. So even as the smoke has been terrible this summer, I guess the algae is held off.
Yeah. You can't breathe in the smoke if you're underwater, Rachel.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for rolling through your picks and a couple news headlines. Hard to believe that it is already the 3rd week of August, but there's a lot left to do. And I appreciate you guys breaking it down with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's all for us today here on CityCast Portland. But thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate it, or leave us a review? And you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast neighbor. Just visit membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with much more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's. Or maybe jumping out of an airplane? Perhaps. Can we get away with that?
No, thank you. No, not again.